Okay, one other thing I want to talk about today. Wednesday was Tesla earnings day. Now, this whole week has actually been big tech earnings season. I talked about this on the podcast, but the main theme of it has been investors asking questions about profitability, which Wall Street for a long time has been content to be like, oh, you said the word AI? Stock go up. You're good. But now Wall Street analysts and hedge funds have been asking on these calls, hey, when are we going to see a return from all this AI spending? Like when you're spending hundreds of billions of dollars, that's really cool. How does that make money? So that's the bigger theme around big tech. However, in Tesla's case, that doesn't even really matter because the car business is not profitable. The car business is already declining. It's not even growing. So today was Tesla earnings and it came out that the Q2 revenue was having the largest year-over-year decline it's had in a decade. Big drop. 16% slide in profits. Now, it's not a massive drop. It's not like a collapse. It's not like Lockheed Martin, which announced an 80% profit drop, but it is a consistent declining car sales. That's the root of it. They are basically reporting they are selling fewer cars every quarter. And the company is priced as if it's on rocket ship growth. And instead it's seeing like slow decline. You know, obviously doesn't make a lot of sense. And Elon Musk said openly, this is crazy. The CEO on the call goes, yeah, we could have a rough few quarters. Things are going to be rough for the foreseeable future. By the way, a few quarters for Elon Musk when it's promising new products could be 12 years. But he basically said, okay, things are looking rough for the next foreseeable future until we get robo-taxis and Optimus robots and more affordable vehicles. And we've heard this story before. But the reason he's saying it's going to be so rough in the near-term future is not just because car sales are down, but because they are finally getting cut off from the government teat. The one thing about the big, beautiful bill that is really hurting Tesla, the reason he was so against it, by the way, is that it no longer they can get money, huge amounts of money from selling carbon credits, selling regulatory EV credits to other car companies. And last year they made $3 billion from these sales, which is like all of their profit. This is gone. It's already halving this quarter. It's going to get smaller every quarter. So all that money they could get from selling EV credits to other car companies is disappearing, which is going to seriously hurt their bottom line. That means the only cash coming in is just from selling cars, and selling cars is getting harder. So they're having to slash prices, do 0% down loans, and are just selling fewer of them. The business does not make a lot of sense. It never really has type of all the time. However, maybe robotaxis, maybe Optimus. We both have heard those before, but there's something new. There's something new that's going to turn Tesla around. They just launched the Tesla Diner here in LA. And that is a famously high margin cash geyser business. You can sell burgers at a diner and make some real, that's a multi-trillion-dollar game changer. By the way, I'm going to go to this in IRL stream from there because I want to see it. Now, to be fair here, this is kind of a fun little idea you can charge and eat at a diner, but the amount of time spent talking about it was inordinately high given how it has absolutely zero impact on the business, except for the really cool epic bacon you can buy for $12. Now, this might get them back in the green. This might get them back in the green, dude. $12 epic bacon, 4 strips, might just turn this company around. Who cares about lost car sales when you're making these kind of margins on bacon? So I've got this graph here. Obviously, EVs was their past, and then it was robotaxi and FSD, and then it was solar energy. But now the big profit comes from cheeseburgers, baby. That is where the future of this business is. And that is why they're going to 12 trillion, bigger than Google, Apple, Facebook combined. I actually do fully believe in them. The other big earnings report today was from Google, which I think reported a little better. They beat estimates. However, they are still spending absolutely gargantuan amounts of money on AI. So their revenue was up 14%, which is awesome, but the profit wasn't there because they spent all of that and more on more data centers. So it's possible, man. I can't tell you what's going to happen here. They did say, I listened to the call. They said, He specifically mentioned that AI, you know that thing when you Google search something, you ask a question and it just AI generates a response, and so you don't even click anything? People were worried that that AI summary would hurt link clicks, because that's where all of Google's money comes from. All of their money comes from people clicking on ads, for Google. It's the vast majority of it. Actually, YouTube's pretty profitable now. So it turns out, according to them, they could be misrepresenting the facts here, but the AI summary is actually more profitable. People click more. Like those pages, they're up 13% or whatever in terms of click-through and sales. So I don't know, but they're at least indicating that the AI stuff has not hurt their bottom line. So that's where they're at. I mean, their earnings were better. I will say that. And I do want to say, when I talk about Google, I'm a little bit skeptical about their AI spend and the return on that. And I'm skeptical about how their core business will survive the growing dominance of like ChatGPT, people using that for search. However, I'm not skeptical at all about the dominance of YouTube. YouTube is crushing. Google is now printing money from YouTube. It is the most dominant media business out there. People that grew up with YouTube are using it all the time, even on their TV. It's killing Netflix. I mean, not killing Netflix, but it's crushing the numbers of Netflix and other streamers. So if it was its own business, I would actually invest in YouTube, but as part of Google, it's tough to say. What about Twitch? Much less bullish on that. The iPod thing again? You mean if YouTube was broken out, it'd be bigger than Nike? That's not even a hot take. The AirPod thing was interesting. YouTube would be bigger than almost every other company. YouTube would be a top 20 company worldwide broken out easily. How does it have a CEO if it's not its own company? That's so normal. Twitch is a CEO and it's owned by Amazon. You can buy a company and give it a CEO. The CEO just runs that specific company. Do you think that the government separated Google and YouTube would be better? I do think that. Yeah, I do think that. I think if Google and YouTube were separated, YouTube would build a search competitor and Google would build a video competitor, and they would both have to innovate and improve and offer better deals. Maybe fewer ads, maybe better splits with content creators, whatever. There'd be competition, but there's not, so they can charge whatever they want. Anyway, those are the two updates I want to talk about. I mean, I think the Tesla stock was down after hours, like 5%, I guess. Not a major move. I don't know what'll happen. I mean, the market's very frothy right now, very bubbly. We're in peak. Retail trading is way up. People are buying zero DTEs all the time. I really don't know. Things have been green. So I can't imagine there's a major impact in the short term, but I will say that the stuff I said in that Tesla video holds true, in that the long-term business here doesn't make sense as is. The valuation doesn't make sense. Again, it's a growth story that isn't growing. Bad luck. That historically always ends in disaster, but maybe Elon's different. Bubble baths are good. Why are bubble markets bad? I never thought about that. I never thought about it like that, bro. That's actually such a fucking good take. Discuss this. Think about this. Millennial story time. I have paid for Blockbuster rentals in change. Get your hip checked, Dunk. That's crazy. What's crazy is so have I. So we're fucking millennials, bro. It's like so weird how much the world changed so quickly. Because when I was like, what, 11 or 12, I would bike to Blockbuster with allowance money and rent a game. And I would play it all weekend and it'd be awesome. And then like, it feels like the next day they were all gone and no one ever did that again. It was cringe. It feels like literally it was like just one day that was something I did all the time. And then the next day it was like, nah, and then what the fuck is Blockbuster? It was so quickly. My dad used to burn Blockbuster DVDs same day and then return them and get his money back. Your dad a real grustler. Your dad a real hustler, bro. Show up, rent, go home, burn a copy, bring it back in, say, actually, I didn't want this. Can I change it? This is a bigger story I want to talk about, but I mean, you guys probably do this, and I hate to call you out, but I will. There is a shocking amount of return fraud happening among regular consumers lately. A shocking amount. The number of people that are now buying items and then returning the wrong thing in the box, or using it for a week or two and then returning it, or just finding all these different ways to abuse free returns is getting crazy. It's like, it's super amping up, which is probably a recession indicator. People are taking heavy advantage of it. I saw the I don't have the stats in front of me right now, and I want to talk about other things, but maybe I'll bring it up on Monday. We'll do a little mini prez or something, because it's bad, dude. It's bad. It's going to lead to people changing these return policies. I just don't know how they can not do it. The abuse is getting real widespread and systematic now, and all the tricks now to abuse it are going viral on TikTok. So everybody's doing it. Yeah, Home Depot changed theirs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I work at Costco and I had someone return a 10-year-old blender that had broke and an old toilet. Dude, if you have stories like this, DM me on Discord, bro. I actually want to put together a little prez, and anything you know from your real life would be interesting. And if you've done return fraud, let me know, and why you did it and where you heard about it. I would actually like to know. I'm trying to put together a little thing, and I'll tell my friends at the FBI too. No, I'm a cool streamer. Guys, just tell me. CIA triage. Yeah, the CIA hired me to help trick my chat into getting persecuted for return fraud. Which, by the way, just to be clear, not illegal, I think. Isn't it all under the policy of the company? It's like up to them whether they accept it or not, but it's not illegal to send in a box. How do we send it to you? Just Discord DM. Discord DM and just like all caps, return fraud story or something, so I can just pick it out, because I get a lot of dumbass DMs.